Alright, this is going to be a rough draft on my happiness video, or series, or whatever it may be. Damn it. Fucking sweethearts. So, this has been a long ass time since I made a video. I made one about my cult agent, which was really hastily done, and still haven't done another one yet. I need to do another one, but there's this beautiful thing. So these grips that I bought aftermarket, I took a varnish pen, one of these things, and I put it on some paper towel, and I kind of wiped over these grips, and it's hard to see it, but they were kind of reddish looking before. It didn't turn out great, but they look a little bit darker, especially on the smooth parts. I didn't think that would actually even absorb it. The checkering, I figured it would, but it really absorbed it all through the smooth parts really well. But I'm not gonna lie, after having this thing for a while, this thing is fucking awesome. I love it. It isn't. It's like, I love my J-frames too. I absolutely love my J-frames, because even though they're around less than the D-frame Colts, I mean, it's a smaller gun. It is still a smaller gun. It's fucking beautiful. So I like I love these even more now, and I love this very much, and I love these nice full-size K-frames, because these things are just, I mean, dude, this thing, I love that it looks like it should be a 357, but it's a 38 only. I love that about it. It's fucking beautiful. One of these days I'll have a blue Diamondback to go with it. But alright, so I haven't made a video in a long time. Sorry, I just fidget with shit and play with shit. Okay, so I hadn't noticed that before, but so you might see me playing with guns and shit. They're all unloaded, don't worry. I already checked them. But I don't know, this year has really thrown me for a loop in a great fucking way. I mean, but it's thrown me for a loop. The beginning of this year, when this year started, 2020, I just said, I'm like, dude, I have a feeling it's going to be the best year of my life. And though this year went nothing like I had thought it was going to at that point, I wouldn't have it any other way. This year has been so fucking wonderful. It has been by far the best year of my life. And in my 20s, I mean, I pretty much from like 19 all the way to 30, through 30, just had a fucking blast partying and just enjoying life. So I had a lot of great years. So, you know, I mean, if I had like a shit life and all of a sudden I had one halfway decent year, that'd be the best year of my life. But no, it's phenomenal. And it's like, I don't know, I wanted to do a video sooner, but I wasn't ready yet, because I'm still coming up with things, that these realizations I've had this year. It's like the exact way the setups, like the exact way that the circumstances played out this year, just that particular way, all of it. It's made me have all these like crazy realizations about myself and about life and fate and just everything. It's fucking crazy. I mean, I literally, like, seems like once a week something just dawns on me that never did before, and I'm just like, it just completely changed my thinking again. And this has happened like probably 20 times this year already, where it's just like, once I learn that, I can't see it any other way. I mean, that's it. And I mean, this year has been by far one of the most crucial years of my life. And the thing is, it's only like the 28th of September right now. I still got 3 more months to go. And I'm like, and the thing is, I get into this more later, but it's like, I've learned. Now, like, I don't know how many people, I don't know if anybody's even going to watch any of this, but if you do, like, I don't know if people are, you know, some people religious, some people not. But, I believe in God. I don't really go to church. I've been a few handfuls of times. I had found one several years ago that I liked, that was decent, but I just stopped going. I mean, my relationship with God that I've had my whole life has been, I mean, I've been close to God my whole life, even as a kid. I mean, it's weird, because I didn't know this as much when I was a kid, but like, I could feel vibes off of everybody. I mean, everybody around. I don't have to hear one word out of somebody's mouth, and I can at least tell you a couple things about them, because just based on their vibe. And the thing is that people's vibe does not lie. Just like the eyes don't lie. People's vibe do not lie. No matter what you want to be giving off, it does not matter. What you give off is what's really going on in here and in here. That's what comes out of people. And I've been able to, I'm pretty early on, like I started realizing that I could learn to kind of read people like that. And I mean, I didn't really get better at it until later on, you know, I got out of high school and stuff. But it's like, the vibes that people give off, like, honestly, I have always, like, it's almost like I mean, I'll just say it, like, I can feel God's presence around me. And that may sound crazy, I don't really fucking care, but it's like, I feel his presence. I see God's hand at work in my life every single day, man. And I'm about to just unload this long story that might take a few parts to get out, because I don't really know where to start. That's another reason I haven't started. Didn't start this sooner. I have a feeling it's gonna be just a series of videos. But the thing is that I don't know. I didn't know where to start. My phone was just jam-packed full of shit. So I finally, because I had like 3 minutes worth of fucking video space, and I'm already at twice that right now. So I'd say that I got all that cleared out. I'm finally at a point where I'm kind of ready to trying to piece this together, because like I said, it's a long story and I don't know where to start, but I'm just gonna give it a shot. Okay, this year I somehow just discovered euphoric happiness. And when I say like euphoric happiness, like, I mean, this feeling in my gut of happiness is so intense that, like, when I sit and think about it, and I sit and think about the past, because I finally reached a point in my life where I realized why every single thing that's ever happened, all the things in my life that I did or did not do, and I just kicked myself in the ass for fucking years, I now know why everything went the way that it did. All the unanswered questions I had about the past, and why this and why that and why not this, why not that, I completely understand it now. And this has been a really, I don't know, it's just been a really interesting year. And that, hold on. Alright, it's been an interesting year. Couple bad things, like 2 bad things happened this year. So it's not like, you know, everything's just been fucking great, and, you know, I mean, there's no reason. But the thing is, though, honestly, other than these 2 things, though, everything has been going fucking amazing. I mean, I spent 6 years from about November, right about Thanksgiving of 2010, up until the 4th of July of 2016. Sorry, it has a circle around my face for some fucking reason. But anyways, that time period, I was fucking miserable. I was miserable. And the thing is, like, I don't even like to say depressed, because honestly, there was only one thing in my life that happened during that time that was actually bad. Well, 2 things, because the first thing brought about something else bad. But that was it, though. I mean, everything else, like, it was all in here. But whether it's real or imagined or whatever the case, I mean, if you believe it to be true, I mean, it can get pretty intense. And I don't know, I spent 6 years I came out of a serious relationship. It was about 3 years. And, I mean, everything went really great all the way up to the end, actually. We just decided to go our separate ways, that it was best to do so. And then we did, and then for some reason I regretted it for a little while. But about 4 or 5 months after the fact, I just realized that part of my life is over, and I have to just let it go. So, but that wasn't really all of the problem. Sorry, my TV's on too. So, I mean, during that 6 years, that really wasn't what it was, because, damn, it's not even a good spot to start, because I got to go back even further. So it's like, all right, my entire life, I mean, as far back as I can remember, in my early teenage years, I finally came out and said it, but like my whole life, I've always had this feeling in my gut. All right, and my gut's very important. I get into that, but my gut is extremely important in my life, and um, I've just always had this feeling that, for whatever reason, that God put me here now to change the world before I die. And I know that sounds crazy, but I don't really care. I mean, like, the details ain't even none of my business anyways. He's got all that covered. All I need to do is follow my gut, and I get there. But the thing is, I've always known it. I don't know why. I've just always known it. And like the first half of my life, well, yeah, okay. So from like up till about 18, like I was really, 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 really quiet person. Like all the way through grade school, middle school, high school. Like I just could not bring myself to talk to people. I don't know what it was. I mean, I do now. I know what it was now, but the whole time, and it's like the thing is, like I couldn't make very many friends. I had like 1-2 friends at any given time, and I definitely couldn't talk to girls for shit. You know, I mean, eventually I had to just start fucking trying. So, you know, I'm like, I'm never gonna get there if I don't at least start taking a crack at it. But it was like the whole first half of my life, and that's the thing. Like I knew even then. I mean, like 12, 13 years old. I finally came out and just said, I'm like, dude, I don't know why I have this feeling, but I really feel like God put me here to change the world. Now, at the time, knowing how quiet I was, and for years after that, I mean, we're talking another 5-6 years after I finally came out and said it. I mean, I just could not talk to people in public. Speech class, oh my God, I fucking hated speech class. I mean, I don't even know how I got through it. But when I got to 18, really by 18 and a half, like it was like by the time my last semester of high school started, shit just started happening. Like I just started changing. Like all of a sudden, I don't know, I just kind of broke out of my shell. And though maybe through the rest of high school, it wasn't like a quick jump out, but it's like once I graduated high school, it was like, man, I just burst out of my shell. And I haven't shut the fuck up since, to be honest with you. But I think I'm making up for lost time. But during the early years, it was really weird because I'm like, dude, I can't even talk to people. How the fuck am I going to change the world? How in the fuck is that even possible? I'm like, but I just know that it's the fact. I just know it. I didn't know much about religion. You know, I've talked to God, I mean, literally as far back as I can remember. And at 2 years old, that's my earliest memory. I thought it was a year old, but it's about 2 years old, like my mom said. I remember us moving out of this place. And I remember being there. I remember a couple different times at that duplex. And that feeling it was in my gut even then. When I think back to those memories, that feeling was there. I didn't know what it was at 2 years old. But as you know, I started getting a little bit older. I'm like, I don't know why. I'm like, I don't know. I never asked for it. You know, it wasn't like as a kid, I was like, man, I would really love to change the world, or that would be my life goal. I'd love for this to happen. I didn't even ask for it. That's what I'm saying. Now, I am not knocking it at all. I'm very happy. I don't know why God would pick me to do so, but you know, he's got to pick some fucking body, right? But it's just weird because it's just, I mean, when I was quiet, I'm like, dude, how is this ever going to happen? But I've just known it. And like I said, it was weird because I didn't ask for it. I just knew that as far back as I can remember. And because of that, that's what's made me want it. Like, I've asked for it many times since I finally admitted that when I was a kid. I mean, at least a couple times a day, even still, like, it's just weird because, I mean, I don't know, I guess people that don't believe in God, maybe even some that do, might not understand it. I don't know, they might not understand what I'm saying, and if so, I mean, like, you know, I'm just putting this out there because this is my story, and this is how I came to literally be euphorically happy, even after losing my grandpa a couple months ago. Like, I mean, I had hit that point of feeling euphorically happy before that happened. He went to a nursing home the last 3 months of his life because of this fucking virus. We didn't get to see him. Once he went in that nursing home, I never saw him or spoke to him again. Never once again. Never even got to say I love you, nothing. And he ended up in the emergency room. And so we couldn't go in there either. They sent him back for hospice care. And by the time they finally gave us the okay, we're on our way up there, and we missed him by 40 minutes. So we still went in the room, still saw him. And it's like, because of the last 4 years of me reconditioning my mind, because I kind of realized that in life, like life, society, and all, it conditions people. It subconsciously conditions your mind to default to negative in most or even all situations. You know, and I mean, I say this because up until, the last few years, that's how I was. And I don't know, I was kind of jumping around because, like I said, I don't really know where to start. And it's like, I can't really run one, chronological line here. But anyways, losing my grandpa, I've dreaded that moment my entire life. And when it happened, honestly, I took it surprisingly fucking well. I was actually proud of myself at how well I took it. But because of this, before that point, I'd spent almost to the day, 4 years reconditioning my mind and my words to just stop speaking negative. Like, that was my first step. I just consciously took all negative shit I said out of my, and then I just always talk shit. Not always complaining. I was like one of the few people that I know that, like, I try to be happy sometimes, but it's like, I find myself down and like, this fucking figures and this fucking, yeah, of course that always happens. And I had no idea how much of that shit I was speaking into existence. Now, I've known about speaking stuff into existence for some time because a buddy of mine back in the day, we talked about it like 06, 05, 07, and then I worked with him in the summer of 2014, and we kind of talked about it. Like, it kind of came back up again because we're seeing each other most, 5 days a week. So we start talking again, and like, he would say something, and I mean, sometimes within a couple days, sometimes within 20 minutes, whatever he said, it would fucking happen. And I was like, damn, I forgot about that. I just, and so I started 4 years ago. The 4th of July 2016 was the first day of the rest of my life, because the 6 years before that, that was fucking miserable as fuck. And I mean, literally overnight, it changed. I mean, literally on the 4th of July, I went to bed, I probably slept better than I did in that whole 6 years. I mean, I was just out, man. I finally just took this weight off of my shoulders. But I get to that too. But anyways, I removed all the negative shit first. That's all I did. Didn't even try to change it to positive. I just anything negative I said, I would try not to say. And if I actually said something negative, I would stop, correct myself, and say, no, I didn't mean that, fuck that, and say, and then after time went on, it was like I went to, like, once I got good at that, then I started to replace those negative words with positive stuff. And especially in those situations where, like, say I get caught by a train. I'm like, that fucking figures, this fucking bullshit fucking train, and fuck this, and fuck everybody, and these cars in front of me. And I'm like fucking every time it fucking figures, and I wondered why this shit happened all the time. Like, duh, dude. And I found that the things you focus on, the things you talk about, like, that shit happens. But most people don't ever catch that it's because of what they're saying and thinking that brings all this shit about. So most people spend their whole lives fucking just dealing with just frustration and pissed off, Thank God I got out of that, because I grew up most of my life, had no fucking patience whatsoever. I mean, I just fucking everything, just fuck. Computer doesn't work in 2 seconds. Punch the fucking screen, that'll make it work, or fucking smack the side of the monitor, like, hey, kick the fucking tower, But anyways, finally, thankfully, because of these beautiful old school guns, that is how God taught me patience. Now, I gotta say, He's had to teach me many lessons the hard way, but this, I mean, damn, I literally learned patience which has served me fucking wonderfully in the last 4 years. And I learned it by buying beautiful old school guns. How cool is that? I mean, how many times in life do you get to learn a lesson the really easy, good, nice, positive way? But that all happened during the last 4 years when I've been working on it. So anyways, once I got, say if I get caught by a train, I'd be like, instead of being negative and talking shit, I would say, even if I had to make something up, I'd be like, shit, luckily I got caught by that train, because if not, that might have just saved my ass from a fatal accident right down the street. Who knows? Now, of course, you never know that, but, if you believe it to be true, it can be true. You say, hey, man, that's awesome, this train just caught me, because you know what? I don't know. Come up with something, And I started doing that more and more and more. It took me a real conscious, deliberate effort. And once I got that down, then I started removing negative thoughts from my head. If I'd start to think, I'd just make my mind go blank first and just pick something else, anything else. Once I got the negative thoughts out of my head, then I started working on replacing them with positive thoughts. And I've always been someone, I try to not take anything in life for granted. When I go to any restaurant, bank, anywhere, I refuse to use a drive-thru. I absolutely, flat out, will not use a drive-thru unless it's the only way to do business with wherever it is I have to go. If a lobby or dining room is open, I will not use a drive-thru. And I will usually park further out. And the reason I do so is because I don't take for granted the fact that I have two perfectly good working legs. So for the people who can't walk as good and all the lazy fucks that just don't feel like walking, they can have them spots, It's good anyways, because think about walking, say, 10, 20 extra car spaces in and then back out. Now you multiply it over every single place I've ever been over the last, I don't know how many fucking, 2 decades. That shit eventually has to add up. It has to add up somehow. But I don't know. That's one of them things. I always try to I don't know. I try to find, but I spent extra time looking for more and more things I hadn't really thought about or thought about in a while, and just started to realize really what all I have to be thankful for, And the thing is, that's 6 years, and these last 4 years that have been fucking. If those 6 years was on the lowest end of the spectrum, these last 4, they're past the opposite end of the spectrum. They blew past that motherfucker a long time ago. Shit is so fucking phenomenal, and life is so amazing that honestly, I wouldn't trade my life for any fucking bodies, because one, right where I'm at, right in my little studio apartment, I'm fucking happy as can fucking be, and I know what my future's gonna. I know it. I just know it's coming, and I know it's here. I know it's here. That thing that I've always known was gonna happen. It began this summer. It fucking finally began, and it didn't occur to me, cause one of the reasons I didn't, no, I'm sorry. Working on my mind, I had to start slow and build over time. Working out, start slow, build over time. And then it never dawned on me, though, that if I want to do something like changing the world, that I should probably, I'm looking at a world scale, and I'm like, well, why not fucking start right here and now? I've been doing shit, for the last couple of years, but I'm actually have been presented with opportunities just to help somebody out, and it's in different ways. I never have fucking money. That I gave, $30 to one lady that was really cool, and but I just been trying to find ways to help people, and however I can, just to make somebody smile, even to just be polite when I don't know, just trying to do something positive and trying to spread, because I'm telling you, I got so much fucking happiness. I'm trying to hand it out to people, but most people don't want it. They say they do, but really they don't want it. They want just something to bitch about. I hate to say it, but how many of us know somebody? I say somebody, but we're probably talking multiple people, but How many of us know somebody that just fucking they're not happy unless they're complaining about something? They just gotta have something to bitch about, something to fucking hate, something to make them mad, something to work them up. And then they want to, this is fucking bullshit. Like, do you ever think maybe it's how you look at it? This is why you're so pissed off? I know, because I spent a lot of years angry and fucking no patience and frustrated. And now, I mean, there ain't shit gets me. I mean, my grandpa passed away. All I could think about is this. I had a fucking awesome grandpa. An awesome grandpa. He has been a part of my life my entire life. He's taught me a lot of things that have served me well in my life, and they're definitely going to serve me well in the future. And I had him for almost 40 fucking years. Who the fuck am I to complain if God calls him home? Who am I to complain about that? I got no fucking right to bitch at all, because you know how many people don't get that? A lot of people don't get that. So, I mean, it's hard to even see it as a loss, because it's like, Dad was so blessed and so fortunate for so fucking long. I never even lost it. That was the first family member that I knew that I lost. I mean, I've had family members, like, well, there's a lot of my family I just don't know, because big-ass family, but I was the first person, like, really that close to me. I had a couple friends who are, you know, somewhat close, but just not like that. And I'm like, damn. I mean, I didn't have to lose a fucking family member for almost 40 years. I was like, God, thank you. Thank you. That's fucking amazing. That is amazing. And all the time, I got, like, the last, like, 15 years, you know, we knew my grandpa was getting older. My brother and I made it a point to spend more time with him. Go out, taking him out, doing stuff all the time. And honestly, those memories, I'm so glad we did, because I got some good memories. We had some good times for a long time. And I got no right to complain. Not a fucking right to complain. I wouldn't even want to fucking complain. I mean, I don't know. But that's how my mind thinks. Now, if that would have happened 5 or 6 years ago, I would have just been fucking just devastated. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I honestly don't think I would have. I think that's why it didn't happen any sooner, because God made sure, as fucking always, right on time, make sure that I'm ready. I mean, literally, I was so fucking prepared for it. Like, dude, and he died on July 1st. July 3rd, we had his funeral, a little small family gathering, and it took until the day after. And then there was one moment, because my grandpa had Alzheimer's and dementia to some degree, not a lot. I mean, he still knew who we were, but he was starting to forget things and lose his train of thought and all that. But it's like, I'll never know if he knew why we could not come see him, because of this fucking virus. That was going on since a little bit before he went in there, so he knew of it ahead of time. But I'll never know if he understood, or if he thought we just dumped him off and fucking forgot him. That shit fucking kills me. And I'll never really truly know. Of course they said he understood. I mean, what are they gonna say, you know? But falling apart, I ain't gonna change it. Fucking, I mean, what are you gonna do? What the fuck is falling apart gonna do? Nothing. So, the day after the funeral, I let it out really hard for about 3 or 4 minutes. That was it. I put it behind me. I'll never forget my grandpa. I love him. I miss him. I wish I had even more time to spend with him. But when I saw him laying in that bed, I mean, he'd been dead for about an hour by the time we saw him. Like, he didn't look good. I mean, obviously, you know, you can't expect him to, but it was like, I don't know, when I saw him, yeah, I kind of teared up a little bit, but that's because I thought we were going to get to see him that day, and then we found out we could have came the fucking night before, and we could have actually been there with him as he passed away. But again, what are you going to do, you know? What are you going to do? It's over. This is one of them fucking final things. You just can't change it, so I'm not going to let it get me down. And I don't run out of time before it cuts to another video. But, I seen him in the bed. like I said, all those thoughts that I told you, like I mean, literally that's all that was going through my mind. That, and I sat there and I made him a promise there that no matter what happens, I will not let anyone or anything fucking stop me from fulfilling my purpose here in this world. I don't give a if I gotta fucking die trying, then so be it. But that's what I did. I literally made my own positive out of it. I mean, I was looking at the positive things that had already happened, but it's like I made something positive out of that moment. Now, instead of feeling miserable, I feel like a renewed commitment to something that I was already very committed to. I mean, I've spent almost 40 years waiting for this to happen, for my fate to begin, and it did. On my 39th birthday, it officially began. That was the first step of it, and I've believed it so much that I've waited almost 40 years without ever even considering a backup plan, and never saved any money. I got $1 to my fucking name. I literally have like $25 in my account, maybe, and that's it until payday. So, yeah, I'm running out of time here, but yeah, I mean, I've never had a backup plan. I've stayed unmarried. I've made sure not to have any kids. I never started a career because I know that once I get into my fate, like, that's gonna take me in its own direction. It'll have its own money come with it, and I've never saved $1 because I've always known that somehow, some way, when the time's right, I'll have more money than I know what to do with. And I've believed it that much so, man, that for 40 fucking years, I haven't even considered a backup plan. I mean, so much so that if this really didn't happen the way that I know it's going to happen, I'd be fucked. Like, fucked. Fucked. So, that's how much I believe it. And like I said, it began. It just started slowly. But I want to make a series here about trying to explain my downtimes and how I got out of that and how I came to find this euphoric happiness. I mean, I kind of laid out the steps, but I want to make at least another video about this, but I don't think I'm going to do it tonight. So I wanted to get this out there, hopefully get somebody's attention, but I'm going to actually like go into more detail about all this, so hopefully it'll help somebody one day. So anyways, it's about to cut, so I'll catch y'all very soon, but I should be back to making videos now. I'm going to do another one about the gun too, and probably like one of my current revolver collection, but no, I really want to start something like this because I'm so happy and life is so amazing, and nothing's changed other than my grandpa. Like, nothing's changed from those 6 years of miserable bullshit to now. My same job. I mean, I have a different apartment, but I mean, not much has really changed in my life at all, except my mindset. And I hear a lot of videos saying that that's what you need to do, but nobody seems to explain how to do it. So I figured I'd give it a crack. So, just